Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're a busy working professional, I want you to just stop and think about the last 30 days for a second. You earned your paycheck, you paid your rent, you covered your utility bills, maybe bought some groceries, but then where exactly did the rest of your money go? As a financial advisor, I hear this exact frustration literally every single day. You know, you work incredibly hard, you earn a good living, but somehow your bank balance just slowly drops, and that leftover cash mysteriously vanishes by the end of the month, usually right around the time you actually want to treat yourself to something nice. Well, let's dive right into this, because I promise you, you're not alone, and we are absolutely going to fix this today.
So, asking that big, frustrating question, where does the money actually go? I'm here to tell you that this gap between what you earn and what you feel like you've spent isn't really a mystery at all. It's the direct result of small, untracked, completely invisible purchases. It's a coffee here, it's that streaming subscription you totally forgot to cancel, it's ordering takeout 3 nights in a row, because, well, it was just this once, right? These purchases add up so quietly in the background that they completely bypass your financial radar.
So today, we're building a simple, cohesive routine designed specifically for busy people who do not have the time for massive, complicated spreadsheets. We'll be looking at 1. The invisible problem, 2. Daily action, 3. Weekly check-in, 4. Monthly audit, and 5. The mindset shift. By the end of this, you'll have a checklist of daily tracking habits, a solid schedule for weekly review sessions, and a ruthless process for auditing monthly subscriptions. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the invisible problem.
Now, I need to give you a little bit of tough love right out of the gate here. The problem isn't overspending, it's invisibility. You simply cannot manage what you cannot see. If your spending habits are invisible to you, you're always going to feel like you're losing the game. This is exactly why a tracking system isn't just a nice to have, it is mandatory. But hey, it doesn't have to be a burden. We just need to make the invisible visible. We're going to take what feels like an intimidating financial chore and break it down into bite-sized, chronological habits. We're talking a real-time log for the day, a quick 5-minute check-in for the week, and a specific subscription audit for the month. This is a high ROI framework, meaning a massive return on your invested time. It takes very little effort for total financial clarity.
Moving right along to Section 2, Daily Action.
Okay, so your very first daily habit on this checklist is to log every single expense in real time. Not at the end of the day, and definitely not at the end of the month. The precise moment money leaves your hands, you record it. Why? Because human memory is terrible. By the time Friday evening rolls around, you genuinely won't recall what you spent your money on last Tuesday. You'll try to fill in the gaps with guesses, and let me be perfectly clear, guessing is not a financial plan. Honestly, the tool you use matters way less than the habit itself. Use your banking app, use YNAB, use Copilot, or literally just open a notes file on your phone. Just log it while you are still holding the receipt. But here's the catch. You have to know how to log those expenses without burning out. Keep your categories incredibly simple. A huge beginner mistake is creating these exhaustive, totally unsustainable spreadsheets. Look, 17 categories later, you're trying to track Tuesday afternoon lattes with oat milk, and the whole system just collapses. Instead, stick to these 6 minimalist categories: housing, food, transport, health, fun, and other. That's it. Broad categories work. You can always refine them later, but to build this daily habit, you absolutely must stay simple. Now here's a fantastic daily action trick for you. Set your spending alerts at 80%. Because here's the dirty little secret about budgets. Most people set one up in a spreadsheet and then never look at it again. Instead, let your banking app do the heavy lifting with real-time alerts. If you set an alert for when you hit 70%, 80%, or 90% of your monthly dining budget, you get a ping on your phone. Think of it like a speed camera. It creates a moment of choice before you completely blow past your limit. It's a real-time boundary that stops the bleeding right when it's happening. All right, Section 3, the weekly check-in.
So for your weekly check-in schedule, you need to review your expenses once a week, not once a month. Monthly reviews are pretty much useless for behavior change because by the time you realize you overspent in week 1, well, you're already in week 4 and it's way too late to fix it. Instead, schedule a 5-minute check-in. Sunday evenings work incredibly well for busy professionals. Ask yourself 3 vital questions. What did I spend money on this week? Was anything surprising? And do I need to adjust anything next week? You are not conducting a stressful self-audit here. You're just doing a quick course correction. Awareness is the absolute foundation of all financial change. During that weekly check-in, you really want to look at your needs versus your wants. And I want you to label your purchases strictly for awareness, without judging yourself. What most people discover when they do this is that 30 to 40% of what they swear are needs are actually just wants wearing a very clever disguise. Paying your rent? Okay, that's a need. Buying a coffee every single morning just because it's your routine, that is a want. And listen, there's absolutely nothing wrong with wants as long as they're conscious choices rather than just automatic habits.
And this ties right into fixed versus variable expenses. Fixed expenses, like your rent, loan repayments, and subscriptions, they don't change month to month, and they require active renegotiation to change. Variable expenses, like food and entertainment, fluctuate and respond to your immediate daily choices. Once you figure out your fixed baseline, that variable side shows you exactly how much discretionary spending room you actually have. That variable number, that is your real workable budget.
Which brings us to Section 4, the monthly audit.
We need to talk about subscriptions. They are the silent killers of personal finance. They're cleverly designed to be just small enough for you to ignore them individually, but collectively, they can easily add up to hundreds of dollars a month. Because they are recurring charges practically designed to be forgotten, you must have a monthly process to catch them. So, once a month, you need to pull up your bank statement and go line by line to your recurring charges.
And as you're going line by line, I want you to ask yourself this one ruthless question. Did I use this enough to justify the cost? Ask it for the streaming service, the fitness app, the cloud storage. If the answer is not really, cancel it immediately. No second guessing. Remember, these services are designed to be super easy to start and incredibly easy to forget. You need to make canceling them equally easy. You can always resubscribe later if you genuinely miss it.
Finally, Section 5, the mindset shift. Look, tracking your expenses is not about restriction, and it is definitely not about guilt. It's simply about clarity. You now have a complete bulletproof system. You have a checklist of daily tracking habits to log expenses in real time, a solid schedule for your weekly 5-minute review sessions, and a really ruthless process for auditing those monthly subscriptions to identify and cancel unused services. None of this requires a finance degree. It literally just requires consistency. Just 15 minutes a week replaces financial anxiety with ultimate peace of mind, letting you make intentional decisions instead of reactive ones. So I want to leave you with this provocative question to chew on. Is your money causing chaos or giving you control? When you actually know where your money goes, you build a relationship with your finances that feels like absolute control. You've got the daily checklist, the weekly schedule, and the monthly audit process. Now it's time to take immediate action. I'm challenging you to start right now, today, with just one habit. Log your very next purchase the literal second you make it. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we continue taking total control of our financial lives.